Today we're going to talk about my favourite subject, CEX. They make mistakes quite a lot. This mistake, though, we benefit from. Very rarely that happens, but today we are going to make money from CEX's incompetence. What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the free Trade-In Game Collection Challenge, the series where I look to build a video game collection without spending any money on it. That's what this is right here. If you go back to the very first video in the playlist, you'll see that behind me, there is nothing. There isn't a bookcase, there's no games, there's no consoles, nothing. We've built everything from the ground up without spending any money on it, and in fact, we've made a profit. So if you want to go check that out, please feel free to do so. We've even started a movie collection now, which will not be as frequent as the video games. In fact, I don't think I have a video planned for this week, maybe next week. But I will update you as and when we update that collection. There are a few things in my CEX actually which I'm tempted to go pick up. But like I said, when that video comes, it'll come. I'm not going to try and force it or anything. If you are newly subscribed to the channel, I appreciate you greatly. We've gained a lot of new subscribers from one video in particular recently, so thank you very much. If you do go on to enjoy the video, perhaps consider hitting the like button. Today we're going to talk about my favourite subject, CEX. If you're not familiar with those, they are a video game store here in the UK. They do sell more than just video games, but primarily they buy and sell video games. That's their whole thing, right? That's their deal. Now, they make mistakes quite a lot. They made a mistake the other week with this video game right here, for example. They traded it in. I took it in. I bought it in a charity shop, took it straight to them. They gave me the credit. They changed their mind. They refunded it because they think it's a reproduction. The reasons he gave me were wrong, but I think it turns out he is actually right, and it is a reproduction, but not for the reasons he thought. Anyway, my point is, they make mistakes, and that was no exception, and this is no exception. This mistake, though, we benefit from. Very rarely that happens, but today we are going to make money from CEX's incompetence. Now, when it comes to the law, you can generally Google most things and find out what's right and what's wrong. When it comes to this topic, video game age restrictions and what legalities surround that, it's not really crystal clear. There are a lot of grey, muddy waters. What do I mean? Well, if you walk into a video game store, you are generally going to be met, here in the UK anyway, with an age rating on the game. And it's either going to be the BBFC rating, which is what they use for films and what they used to use for video games here in the UK, or it's going to be the little PAL logo. Not PAL. PEGI logo, which I think is all of Europe use this now, this PEGI Europe. I don't know what Australia call theirs. America call it the ESRB, which we're going to talk about in a second. But yeah, either the PEGI or the BBFC. That's what a game has to have for it to be sold legally from a retailer in the UK. Now, I don't know if I've mentioned this, but I used to work in a video game store, and we were told all the time, you are not allowed to take in a video game if it doesn't have either one of those rating systems on it, because we're not legally allowed to sell a game that has an ESRB, which I'm looking past the camera because I needed it on Google to be able to tell you. They range from their sort of age things are everyone, which is obviously everyone 10 plus, which is obviously 10 and up, teen, which is 13 and up, mature, which means 17 and up, and adults, which is 18 and over. Apparently 17 isn't quite as, when you're 17, you're not quite fully grown up enough to play an adult-only game, but there we are. So those are the ESRB. They tend to be on the US games, which is NTSC, which is the region code for America. Now, CEX are not allowed to sell those games, as far as I'm aware, and they don't take them in. If you take one into CEX to trade it in, they will tell you, oh, we can't take that because it doesn't have the right age rating, it needs to be a UK or, PEGI or whatever it may be. And I've seen people try to do it and get rejected for it. I think I've had one in my pile of games that I tried to sneak in there, thinking maybe that they would, nope, they don't want to know. Which is fine, because I know I know of the law, so that's fine. When I went into this CEX in Newport, they had shelves full of ESRB games. They did not care. They were Xbox 360 games, Wii U games. They were everywhere. Now, I'm not saying they outweighed the PEGI games. They didn't, but there were a lot of them. And I was very, very confused. I didn't know, like, I was thinking, well, they're not allowed to sell these. Why are they even on the shelf? And then I saw something. And I've showed you the PAL version of this game already. I saw an NTSC, Mario and Sonic, at the Rio 2016 Olympic Games, which, if you know, you know, that game, for some reason, is expensive. Now, this one isn't expensive. This PEGI version is around £12 to £15. When we picked it up, it was 12. I think now it might be 15 in CEX. But the NTSC version, the US version with the ESRB rating on the cover, for some reason in the US sells for like $50, $60. I think there's a website called Price Charting, which I use now and again to sort of have a little look at the NTSC games to see what sells for more than what we sell. For example, Pokemon Box on the GameCube in the US sells for like $1,000 plus. Here in the UK, it sells for like $100. It would be cheaper if you were a game collector and you just wanted the game. It would be cheaper if you lived in the US to fly to the UK, buy a PAL GameCube and a PAL copy of Pokemon Box, and then fly back to the US than it would be to buy a copy of Pokemon Box in the US, which is mental. That's actually crazy. I can't believe that's real, but it is. So anyway, I find this Mario and Sonic at the 2016 Rio Olympic Games. NTSC ESRB rating on it on the shelf, and I'm not shaking, but I'm thinking this is a mistake. How can this be on the shelf? Surely if I go and buy this, it's going to be a PAL disc, or they're going to say that they can't sell it or something. So I take it to the counter. I have recorded the audio, but the person that I dealt with was so quiet that I genuinely don't think you can hear a word they say. If you can, I'll put it in here. So unfortunately, no, you can't hear a word, and there's Lady Gaga blaring over the top of it, so I'd get a copyright strike. The footage of me picking the game up off the shelf is also corrupt, so here it is. You can see it has the CEX stickers on it, and it has the ESRB rating. I ended up selling this for about £40, which I thought was pretty decent considering I live in the UK, and I probably could have got a lot more if I lived in the US, but then I wouldn't have got the game as cheap if I lived in the US. So there's that. But yeah, CEX have double standards depending on which store you visit. My local one will absolutely not entertain the idea of ESRB games on the shelf. They will not put them out there. I never see them ever on the shelf, and I've seen them refuse people to try and trade them in. But this Newport store obviously didn't care. They just take anything, which benefited me on the day, which was awesome. And I will be going back there to have a little scan through to see if they have some more that are worth more than the UK or the PAL versions. But yeah, I don't think they are actually legally allowed to be selling these games, but there it is. Some more CEX controversy. I say that as if I really care. I've benefited from it. It doesn't really make that much of a difference. As long as the game isn't region locked to a particular system, I don't think there's going to be a problem. I don't know if Wii games are, or Wii U games even are, region locked. So turns out the Wii U is region locked. So I spent this entire time talking about the legality of it without really talking about probably what is going to be the main problem affecting people, is that you can't even play that game on a PAL system, which is something that was in the back of my mind, but I didn't really think about it. So I would have had to take that game back to the store and try and explain to them why I can't play it, especially if I had the same member of staff who didn't know what NTSC was in the first place. And also the Xbox 360 is region locked, for the most part anyway, so you'd have the same problem with Xbox 360 games. Now I know I don't have the footage to show you because I'm an idiot, but had I had, you'd have seen there were at least 6 or 7 on the shelf. One of which I think was Silent Hill Homecoming, which is a pretty expensive game, I think. But that was region locked as well, so you wouldn't be able to play that. But maybe it's worth more. I didn't really look it up. I should have. But there we are. Some more controversy. Let's get into today's pickup, though, because I do have one to show you. It's not just me complaining about CEX today. I am actually going to show you a pickup. I'm going to show you this. We saw it a little while back in a charity shop. It's actually the same charity shop I got this Pocky and Rocky 2 from. It is Wacky Races on the PlayStation 2. Now, I'm actually a bit disappointed that this is a PS2 game and it's not a PlayStation 4 game, for example, because I love Wacky Races. I even have a DVD box set of this. Yes, I'm 35. I just loved it growing up. That's interesting as well, though. That is an age rating from obviously back in the day, but I'm pretty sure that that's a European age rating on that game, which I'm almost certain at some point I've seen a story or a video or something of CEX rejecting that rating as well. But either way, that was £2.50. Very, very happy to pick that up for £2.50. I think CEX had it for £5 plus, so not bad. And it is complete with the manual as well, so happy days. And the disc, by the way, for a game that was in a charity shop on the PlayStation 2, is in very good condition. There is it's one of those purple ones as well, but yeah, very, very good condition. Very happy to put that into the collection. Something that I've done as well, and I'm gonna have to try and adjust the figures for this because this was actually on sale. This was a game that I was selling. Do you remember when I picked up Mario Football on the GameCube?
The loose disc of that one, 7. Right, okay.
That was quite a while ago in a boot sale. I paid £7 for it. It is scratched. It does work because I've tested it on my Wii, but yeah, it is quite badly scratched. Like, a lot of light surface scratches, but it is scratched. Well, that got me thinking. I didn't really... I knew about reproductions, of course I did, because like I said, I sold the... I bought and sold a couple of Turtles games at the beginning of lockdown, and I knew that they were repros, and I kind of made them up to be a little bit better than they are. So I bought the artwork, I bought a replacement manual, and I put it all together and sold it as a fully fledged reproduction, like complete game. And I made like 20-30 quid on each of them. I can't really get the cartridges cheap anymore, unfortunately. People have sort of cottoned onto it. My point is, that got me thinking... Mario Strikers Football that we have, or Mario Smash Football that it's called on the GameCube, I could just buy replacement artwork and keep it. So I did. There it is. This is actually a really bad print, I won't lie to you. The quality of this is actually pretty bad. It's quite confusing to me because the person that I bought this off on eBay has really good feedback, and people say how good the quality is on the on these. I got this and instantly I thought, oh, some kid has decided to open an eBay shop and print them using his parents' printer. I mean, to be fair, it is like the same glossy photographic paper that that game companies use, but the quality of it is just not very good. However, the spine of it is good. The spine of it is good enough that I can put it on the shelf and it looks okay. Now, I'm not 100% happy with it. There's the spine. Not 100% happy that I have a replacement cover on a game, and I'm not happy that that is how it looks in there either. I hate that, you know, this. It should be a proper GameCube thing. But for now, because I like this game, I'm going to keep it, and we're going to take it off sale. Because bought it for £7, it's worth about 20-25 out of box. But because of the condition of it, I don't think people are willing to take a punt. So I'm going to put that on the shelf, and it will go with Wacky Races, Dastardly and Muttley as well. I've never seen that game before, and I'm desperate to give it a go. It's been on the shelf waiting to do this video for quite a while, but there we are. 2 games essentially to put into the collection, and yeah, that's going to do it. A little bit of CEX controversy, probably more story time than actual footage again, which is a bit frustrating. I do have things to trade in the next episode though, so look forward to that. And I'm going to go to a video game store very soon as well. Not Insane Games, a different one, and have a little look around to see what they have to offer as well. But if you have enjoyed today's video and you've maybe got your own CEX story you'd like to share with the group, then feel free to do so. And like I said, you know, it's one of those where I think they are breaking the law, but it didn't really affect me. And to be fair, if anything, it benefited me. So I don't really care. I just wish that there was some sort of consistency going on more than anything. But if you have enjoyed today's video, do me a favor and hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. And until the next time, goodbye.